Okay, so this weekend I decided to get serious and focus on my retirement money. So I watched a bunch of those very popular YouTube finance bros, and they said that I needed $1.8 million to retire. I was like, I don't know where that's coming from, but it's not this girl's paycheck. So of course I started to freak out, and I started to do that hot and cold panicking thing. And in case this is you too, I'll tell you how I stopped the panic and talked myself off the ceiling. First, I realized those retirement calculators are not built for my life. They're built on a lot of assumptions. They assume you had a partner, they assume you started saving at 25, that you had a super linear career, that you didn't caretake for anybody else, and that your life always made sense on paper. And if it didn't, that calculator just sits there with its judgmental digital face looking at you. So I stopped trying to solve the big number. I stopped trying to think about that big number at all. And I started to ask a smaller question. What is the number I need each month for my life, my real life? What do I actually need for the life I'm building? The just me, the groceries, the actual bills, the car, the place I'm living, what my life actually costs. And here's the thing. Looking at it monthly made me realize and confirm what I thought, which is that my life is much simpler and much less expensive than those calculators assumed. When I looked at my real number, it felt more doable. And I know what you're thinking. It's still a huge number. Like $5,000 a month for 30 years. That's a lot. I know, it's all a lot. But here's the difference. When I look at what Social Security is going to bring in, what my 401k is going to bring in, and I think about the amount of travel I want to do at the beginning, and I'm going to do a lot less of that after a few years. I know when my house is going to be paid off. And all of those things lead me to see if there's still a gap, if there's a bridge I need to create to get to the actual number. And a gap is something you can actually work on, something you can pick away at. Oh, and speaking of Social Security, quick tip, do you know what your Social Security is going to net you? You need to look at this website, ssa.gov, and you log into your account and or you create an account. And that will tell you, it's kind of fun. And there's these little sliders that you can move. What if I retire at 65? What would be my Social Security take home at 67, at 70? And the other tip I want to give you, so one is make sure you go look at what that number is and play with the little sliders, and it'll give you a good idea of how that will help you monthly. Okay, so the second piece of that is people conflate Social Security and retirement in that just because you retire doesn't mean you have to take Social Security. So if for some reason you have a nest egg enough or a partner or some way that you could retire but not take Social Security until you retire at 65 and you take Social Security at 67, maybe, or 70. And those little sliders that you just played with will help you figure out if that's a good option for you, because maybe that's enough money that it's worth waiting for. So that's something you can play with and decide and think about. And that's a really great way to start getting control of what your monthly income will look like. So that's Social Security. You've looked at what your, perhaps a pension or your 401k, a savings, and you're looking at all that. You're analyzing what the gap would be to be able to get you to this monthly number you need to be able to pay your bills. And for some of us, that means we're going to take part-time jobs in retirement. For some, that means you're going to push your retirement to a little later. These are decisions we need to make, but you can't make them until you know that number. And it does not have to be $1.8 million. $1.8 million is a huge mountain. Maybe yours is more like a little foothill that you need to overcome. Maybe not Everest of 1.8. But know this, I will be honest, it is still stressful. It's always going to be stressful because we can't predict the end. I am still stressed about things like long-term care for myself. My people live forever. Don't tell any insurance company. My people live forever. My 100-and-something-year-old grandma just recently died. I worry about long-term care health for myself and care, but I also worry about it for my mom and the implications of what she's going to need, and that I want to be there and be able to help her. So this monthly look Doesn't solve everything. I'm not trying to say that my genius idea is curing the world, but it did help me go, I'm not trying to get to 1.8. That is unrealistic for me. That doesn't mean I can't retire and have a wonderful, happy life that I've built. Hope that helps you a little bit. Because when you start getting all the voices of what shoulds and what you should do and start hearing all that advice, it can be overwhelming and exhausting and scary. And I just want you to take a deep breath, stop the hot, cold panic, and take a look at what your actual life costs so you can make some real decisions about what you need to do to get to the life you want to build. You've been very brave to even look at all these numbers. It took me a long time to get real with what is out there, what I need, what I will spend. It's scary, and you did it, and you're very brave. But money is not the only piece of the retirement puzzle. We talk about this all the time on this channel. If you want to see where you are, what areas you need a little bit of work on, I'll pin it below, the free retirement quiz that I have. It's a retirement vibe quiz. It'll let you know where you stand across all the factors, not just the finance. So again, link is below. So together, we're building a life we love. I've loved spending time with you. Until next time, this is GenX Missy.